Gentlemen, we have our main character done. If you've seen episode 1, this is Night, Undead, and is based upon Grail Knight of Indiana Jones' Last Crusade movie, so he's blessed and cursed at the same time. You might have this divine task to fulfill. We shall find that out throughout our adventure in Rivellon. So let's start the game. I have skill points to spend, but I'll spend them later. Shall continue. Let's go, guys. Beware, playing as undead poses unique risks and benefits. Undead must veil their true selves from the living or risk being attacked. Healing potions and spell will damage me, while poison will heal me. Undead can pick locks with a bony finger alone and can survive the scourge of the death fog. Also, I can heal myself in pools of blood. I am sure.
It all happened like I knew it would. A single drop of source magic. And, like flies to honey, the monsters swarmed. The rebel panicked. The carnage began. And the magisters pointed their fingers at me. Just as I'd planned. I was shackled and collared, and sent to Fort Joy. I'd come here to kill Godwoken. But instead I became part of their story.
One thing I must say, the soundtrack is amazingly good.
Well, look what the dog dug up. You're lucky they didn't notice just how thin you were under those bandages.
The hell, the grinning skull is talking to me.
Although, seeing someone wrapped up like that, they probably thought you had the scabbing plague. Heh? Look, laugh, but don't touch.
Well, you have that right.
Better keep that hood down, mind you. The living don't take kindly to seeing their future staring back at them.
Well, their future might not be mine. They might find eternal rest. Right, new information was added to my journal. Left mouse button. The Magisters, Day 1. 1337, lead. Middle mouse button, rotate, zoom with scroll. Understood? Though he is a sorcerer and was the source scholar, Bishop Alexander continues to lead the Divine Order. As he is the son of Lucian, and it is widely assumed he will succeed him as the next Divine. Chapter 1, The Merryweather. Day 1, 1337. Lead. Lucian the Divine, champion of the seven gods and savior of Rivellon, is dead. He sacrificed himself to defeat the forces of the Void, leaving his son Alexander to preside over the next chapter of Rivellon's history. But Lucian sacrificed it not by peace. Instead, the years that followed were plagued by the menace of Voidwoken. These beasts were drawn to source magic, and left death and destruction in their wake. Incapable of wielding the divine powers that his father had at his disposal, Alexander has resorted to harsher measures in order to stop the Voidwoken. A great pogrom has commenced against sorcerers, those who show the most skill in the manipulation of souls. Encouraged by his most trusted advisor, Dallis, Alexander has decreed that all sorcerers must be resettled in isolated colonies, where they cannot pose a threat to the rest of Rivellon. One such colony is the ancient island stronghold of Fort Joy. It is to this place that I, a captive sorcerer, am being sent. We are sorcerers being transported to Fort Joy, an ancient fortress on a remote island where magisters of the Divine Order have established an internment camp. I am bound by a magical collar that cannot be removed. Yeah, this is okay. Nice job.
I don't even remember them strapping me down.
Okay.
Playing dead, are you? Probably a good idea.
Oh, everything's spick and span. Nothing left to do, really.
I don't even remember them strapping me down.
We have too long presumed Source as a virtuous part of civil society, yet we need look no further into the past than the Source King's reign to understand the havoc such magics may wreak. One day, another order must follow in the Source Hunter's footsteps. Sorcerers must be muted. A new model of Source Colors provided, the Vredeman, by Vredeman is proving most effective. Alright, just a journal. On the silencing of souls. Shall take this empty bottle. Might come handy. Strange charm. Row of books. Tardy. Seems it has some parts inside.
No marks, no indications of a struggle. Ah, you're up. Yes. Looks like that collar fits you snugly enough. Nice bit of work, even if I do say so myself.
Magister
It seems as
Sivan.
though there's a pattern in the blood flow. There. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash.
Well, that's quite a thing to say.
In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters.
No marks, no indications of a struggle.
Yeah, I like the ones soldiers. I pull out the thing around my neck. Utility demanded to know why I'm collared.
Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those source spells of yours? See what happens.
Yeah, let's stay quiet.
Oh, do go on. I won't hold it against you. Promise.
Not going to do it.
My, aren't we a meek little lamb? Perhaps I needn't have collared you at all, though it does look darling on you.
You wouldn't know, mortal.
So let's just leave it on, shall we? Because, to answer your question, what the collar does is this. It makes you unable to cast Source. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
The Source King insists there are no magics too foul, even those that would block or even remove the source within an individual. I delight in this madness, in his madness. It is an invitation to manipulate all which we once believed immutable. He provides all manner of experimental subjects. What? The text beneath lists a series of access and materials required for muting source. Some of those objects are circled in black ink and annotated as follows. Elm, collar, mask. Okay. There's a barrel there. And it's rather empty.
Well of knowledge this tome is. Dallas is such a dear lending it to me.
A young magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass.
Good gods! There's been a murder here.
Behind the magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
I look and obviously ask what happened here.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or you'd be a suspect like the rest of them. Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does.
Always does. I mean, does it happen all the time?
You surprised? You're one of them. You know what sorcerers are capable of? Whoever did this found a way around their collar and killed a man.
Obviously, it's because of the collar that I cannot kill any of you.
Small ones this time, thank the gods. We'll find out who did it, one way or another.
Ugly sight, isn't it?
Well, not so much.
Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this.
Well, they were captives, not protected.
Finn didn't see it like that. He was desperate for us to help him. Two things scared the living daylights out of him. His own shadow and his own source. We'll find out who did this. Speaking of,
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course.
Well, maybe I can. Well, I'm a sorcerer after all.
Not with that collar on, you aren't. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about
that? So, I'm going to help a magister, someone who keeps me under this collar, lock and key. Don't think so.
Think about it. It's one of you who got killed, not one of us. We want to find who did it and bring them to justice. Who's your real enemy here? You let me know if you hear anything. Whoever did this is dangerous.
Let's see the journal. I would like to search the poetry book.
This is a rare kind of magic. I'll need to write to headquarters right away.
Woman from Driftwood, with nary a care, offered me kisses that answered my prayer. I accepted her gift, and then, to my dismay, a spider she was, and I her buffet. Once feasting was over, she licked her red lips. I rose from the floor, still coming to grips. She thanked me for coming and bade her farewell. My prayer indeed answered, though still I did swell. Okay, that's nice. Curl and chuff. Let's close the door. Turn off the lights. Nothing in the barrels. Some gold. Let's see the rest of the hold. Bah. Take a bedroll.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them. One of us will kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up?
You think me mad?
Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely.
Sapio.
What are you
An
trying
elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
2 ones.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like.
May I join you?
She shakes her head.
Game for one, I'm afraid. Rolling dice. Deciding fates.
Whom's fate?
Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
Probably best to leave her alone.
She smiles contemptuously.
Just a kitten in a corner, aren't we?
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
take the rope.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one. Can we just skip to the part where I reassure you and you
I
shut
don't want to put the bucket on the head as a helm.
Mad
Not too many people there.
and sufferable, surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
I'm busy watching for clues, sorcerer. Go take your sub-story somewhere else.
Crap. This guy's
I ain't saying nothing.
Ifan Bezmet.
I'll come back to you, and you better be ready to talk here.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again.
Text determine how the world interacts with your party members. Custom characters have origin characters. Also have their origin. Okay. Let's not give ourselves away.
He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
Pinches less that way, right?
Right, it's much more comfortable now.
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
Why does the Magister suspect you of the murder that happened?
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing.
It's one of those types.
Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants.
Well, given we are all sorcerers, at least there's no point in asking this. Still curious about the murder. Did you do it?
No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough.
Do you know anything about where we are headed? Fort Joy. I saw it mentioned in a blog book.
The Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the Ringmaster himself.
The Ringmaster. Is that the one that makes the colors?
Not eager to bow before the great Bishop Alexander, son of the Divine himself. My sentiments exactly. But Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like that.
What are you conspiring about over there? You! What's your name?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Name?
I'll tell him my name. You will call me Sir.
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the notebook back in his voluminous robes.
Away with you, at once.
What? Can't I talk with another person now.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
And I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magisters more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
Damn dog.
You been down by the room up the hall?
No,
You sure about that?
no.
You one of them? A Divine Order loyal? They killed a sorcerer, you know. They'll hide the evidence well enough, but make no mistake.
He got eaten by a void woken.
Forget
A
it.
broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, boy. You hear that?
Never thought you'd end up.
You what?
The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
Bloody hell, the ship is moaning like a sick man.
Sick as a leper's cat. From the state of it, I'd say she's being cared for by a bunch of beardless babes who never loved anyone but their own mums. But there's more. Listen close. There now, just like that. Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
There. You heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, boy. Good news.
And I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder.
Yes, I've heard it. What's supposed to be? No sailor?
It's the wheel. The wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east.
Oh, no, that's a good trait to have, to know all how the ship works.
Burn my beard. That means if we've been travelling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy.
I was so excited about reaching Joy. I haven't heard anything good about the place.
No indeed, boy. But that ain't my final destination.
What do you mean?
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all. Thank you kindly, boy.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away.
Talking about escape, I'm in.
He continues stroking his beard, a beatific smile on his lips, and doesn't acknowledge you anymore.
Okay.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
It was one of them. I know it.
Well, well. What have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we? See if you'll do.
I'll do what?
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse.
Don't like your stare.
All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
The nerve.
My, we are fierce, aren't we? Not to worry. I'll soon remedy that. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook?
Well, I can, but my sense of taste isn't what it used to be.
And of course, a cook who can't taste is about as useful as a dog in a chess game. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor?
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Yes, I can tell
No.
from your vagabond chic, a bag is as good as a shirt kind of style, I shouldn't be getting my hopes up. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after.
Well, no.
Just as I thought. That explains what's besieging my nostrils. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate, shall we? As per your own testimony, you have the taste buds of a dung beetle, the fashion sense of a monkey in a clown suit, and your personal hygiene reminds one of a carcass rotting in the sun.
That's not so far from the truth, especially the last part.
That won't do at all, see? I'm sad to say I must deny you the opportunity to be my slave. Ever so sorry.
Well, stare at him. Slave?
My slave, of course. Oh, but I see. Yes, I suppose it must take some time for the full extent of my disheartening refusal to sink in.
Are you serious?
Still, hone your skills, and one day you may just qualify for a position in a lesser household than mine. You keep dreaming, you hear?
Are you serious?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
I spent my life singing for my slaves to bring me my supper. Finer fare than boiled roots and rotten tubers, too. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat behind this very wall. The indignity.
What a spoiled lizard you are.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you
We
put
got
a
the kitchen
knuckle in it?
pot.
I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Ah, there you are. Husband.
What?
Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not-at-all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this loser woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical.
No, it's absolutely normal.
Oh, they're not so bad. At least not when they're treating me, Madame Josephine Gribble de Peeve, with due deference.
The children break out into giggles.
What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we?
True enough. Lows.
You presume right.
You know not anything about the murder at all?
Nope. Trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better.
Could watch each other's back.
Thanks, but I already belong to an elite and exclusive ship gang. We play ball every day after lunch. You're too soft for it. You take care, though.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
What? This is strange. This was really strange. Who the hell leaves coins everywhere?
It was one of them. I know it. Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're like cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us wouldn't kill our own.
Can I lockpick? Better not. Magister's here.
Skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up.
You think me mad?
Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely.
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail.
Feels uncomfortable, but as long as I keep my human form.
He reaches out and examines your bandages, rubbing them between his fingers.
It's blind.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
And I'm speaking to...
Ah, yes. The niceties. My name is Fane. I am a scholar from... well, I am a seeker of knowledge. That is enough. It is pleasurable to meet you.
Well, and what exactly? There's a lot of it. World?
Is there? Wherever do you keep it? Certainly not in your books. I have been reading this one for several minutes, and I have yet to find a single insight into the mysteries of the universe. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history?
Well, the history of Rivellon is the history of the Divine Order. Talk about Lucian Divine and his son Alexander? No. Most recent threats and how the Magister have been fighting the Voidwalker over Rivellon? No. I've seen a lot in the last couple of centuries.
Oh, please. I have no interest in that. Your books are too full of it already.
Correct.
No. I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind?
Why so why so curious?
The elf's face freezes for just a second before he waves his hand dismissively.
Oh, it's just one of my idle curiosities. We mortals do like to consider these things, do we not?
That is correct.
Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
I insist, good sir.
No amount of pestering will get the elf to take his eyes off his book or respond to your questions.
You think me mad?
Mad? Insufferable? Surely.
A wolf.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you
Name?
if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
Well, you aren't here on my list. Scram, eh? We're trying to catch a killer here.
Right.
Here to register, sir. Good, good. Magister Williams is just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far?
There's nothing else I can bring, Your Majesty. Turnips and water are all I was given.
Unacceptable. I've never dined on anything less than a dozen course dinner, and I don't intend to do
Do you really care Or is this just a rhetorical question?
Of course I do. Seems Voidwoe can dog your heels like a shadow. That's no way to live, is it? You'll see. We're gonna help you. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
What do you mean?
Keep those bubbles trained, and if she tries to run, shoot to kill.
You seem on edge, officer. What on earth is the matter?
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
Windego.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
What do you mean, sorcerer? Of others whose lives must end?
It means your journey draws to a close. Do stick around for its finale, though, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
Holy...
I'm just about to create a scene.
Holy shit.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
So I would suspect that the Voidwoken are planar creatures that will use the magic to come into our world?
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
She's a vessel. Holy crap.
What's happened?
Well, we will try to know what happened in the follow-up episode. I'm gonna save the game and take a little break. Catch you guys up in the next episode. And, well, leave a comment, press like if you liked it, and why not just subscribe and follow up all the videos I put up? Well, just if you want. Cheers, guys. See you in a bit.